Campbell talked the other day about how he figured it would take kind of a little bit of time for the offense to kind of get into rhythm with so many different young guys. When did you feel like that cohesiveness or that your offense had hit a, I guess, stride?
Uh, you know, I don't. I guess I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I've really focused on that because I think in football every week is totally different. You know, and really every drive is totally different. You know, and you just hope that you got the right plan and you're prepared and you can your guys make some plays that that they can make, and sometimes they're hard plays to make that they make that get you going. But I don't know if you can ever really feel like, hey man, we're hitting our stride, and I get the question, but I'm just hesitant to say like, hey, we just try to move it every time we got it, and if you just keep thinking that way, you hope that it can go good, and you have to. Obviously, the more that drives that you stack up like that, you feel like, hey, we're moving it pretty good. But that can change in a week, and that can change in a half. It can change pretty quickly.
What are some of those typical growing pains that he was kind of talking about that new guys or young guys will experience early on?
Well, I think it's natural in offense in general. That when you go through spring practice and you go through fall camp, typically, there's a learning curve that defense is a little bit more of in general of a reactionary deal. Obviously, there's a ton of scheme involved, but so I think there's a natural progression that takes place with offense in general, but particularly with young guys, it's not just the plays; it's the detail within a play of how to. What you're doing affects the other people on your team, and not only maybe leverages a million of different things that I think go into it. So just where to line up is a big thing, and that's probably the biggest part of it. And then on top of that, probably how much the different things that happen from a week-to-week standpoint in regards to defense, in regards to what maybe you decide to do on offense. So I think all those things stacked up on top of each other make that learning curve a little bit harder.
What did you see on the 61-yard pass to Breece? It seemed like that was kind of the evolution of Brock going through his reads and then hitting the guy that he needed to.
You're exactly right. Breece is the last guy on that particular play in his progression, and we were fortunate to have good protection to be able to get to the last guy, which sometimes is hard to do. Really, what I thought would be open wasn't open at all, and he just kind of kept working across and found Breece, and obviously he made a great catch there and a good run afterwards.
What did Breece show you in practice before earning more reps and obviously 2 breakout games?
Yeah, I think it was number one. I think as a young guy, you learn how to practice and how to finish runs, and to really be locked into the detail of all the things: alignment, assignment, doing it full speed, being locked in enough that you don't miss anything, that you can make the play that you're expected to make. And I just think we've seen a progression in him week to week, and I think you gain an understanding of what it really takes to play any position at this level comparatively to what probably it takes to high school. And he's done a good job and continues to do a good job.
Everybody says that Brock has kind of always been the same guy and how he goes and prepares himself. But what ways maybe has he refined himself to be able to play at the kind of level he is now?
Yeah, I think I do. I think he's just the same guy. I think with experience you gain a lot. Obviously, experience and playing well with experience, it gains you real confidence. And probably when you're a younger player, your confidence comes through what you had in your past history, and maybe it's not as recent, And I think the more that he plays, and obviously the better that he plays, I think you get more confidence and you start to maybe dive into the detail a little bit more, and you feel comfortable, maybe asking questions or saying what I don't like or don't feel comfortable with. So I think probably the biggest thing is experience, and when you couple experience with a guy that takes it very seriously and who is focused in all the time, I think those two things probably together make you play better.
He said that sometimes some of his accuracy maybe comes from, he said sometimes he'll run a play bad and he'll tell you that he wants to run it again. How often is he in practice saying, making you go back and run the same play again?
I think the good thing is we don't do it as much. But yeah, if he really likes a play and maybe didn't throw the best ball, or maybe we messed up how we lined up or motion or whatever, he'll kind of ask, can we run it again? And I've never said no. And anybody that says no is pretty dumb. So we just run it again, because we feel like that's a play. Obviously, if he's asking you to run it again, that's something that he likes.
Do you feel like the guys have been more proactive? I mean, he's an example of it, but everybody program-wide wants to do more, wants to analyze more in practice, like now that the program's been successful for the last couple of years?
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if it's because that we've had some success. Obviously, it's week to week, but I think it's the type of kids that Coach Campbell has brought in here. I mean, we have really good guys, and I think it's really meaningful to them, obviously, to play here. And I think it's the environment as a whole. I think Coach Campbell has worked really hard along with the players, to not only make it to really important, but I think the culture of our kids is that this is really important, and it means a lot to them, and they work really, really hard. So, I just think we got good guys, and that they work really hard, and it's really important to them. And there's no days. I feel like there's fewer and fewer days since we've been here where you wonder how are we going to practice today, and I think that's a good thing. And if you can keep doing that, hopefully you continue to get better. So we'll keep working on that.
Okie State's defense, I know they've given up a lot, but they've also been put on the field a ton with turnovers the last couple of weeks. But they're always fast. What kind of challenge do they pose?
A lot. I think they have really good players. I think they have the ability to be probably more multiple than anybody we've faced. They can play a variety of coverages and a variety of fronts, and I think they have the ability to really wreak havoc on you because of how multiple they can be. And on top of that, I think they have some really good players. And I think we have our hands cut out and our hands full, and we got to be really on it, because I think they have the ability to number one, make you turn the football over, but I think they also have the ability to make you drive the football field, and certainly have really good players.